Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Actually, I totally screwed that up. Welcome back to Orange Hat, because I am no longer Orange Hat Reviews. I am simply just Orange Hat. Still the same channel, still the same content, just shortening the name. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. It is Book of Wick Chapter 2, and two of the members couldn't make it, so it's just me and Fade Salvation tonight. How you doing, Fade?
I'm doing good. How's everyone, including you, Orange Hats, doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, and pretty sure everybody in the chat so far is doing well. We got Vanya and Fade in the chat. I'm pretty sure we got Pierre, and we might even have Anime Night in the chat too.
Oh, nice.
So we got John Wick Chapter 2. I really like this one. I like all of the movies, but the
Same.
fourth one is my favorite, and it also should be the last one in my opinion. But we all know that they're planning a fifth one, and it's already starting production. So yeah,
Mm.
but I really do like how this one starts. And hey, Geek Detective Pierce, good to see you. How you doing?
Hello.
So yeah, this movie, or they're looking at the city. You get the overshots of the city, so we know where they are and whatnot. And you then see this silent film like kind of thing on a side of a building that shows a motorcyclist crash over the front of a car.
Mm.
And then it pans down and it shows a motorcyclist sliding down the road, which is a nice little way to introduce this movie. And so then this guy is basically running from John Wick, and he ends up catching him and stealing a gold card, which is actually used for the steelbook of this move or of this chapter
Now,
of
quick
the Book of Wick.
question on that. Was it a card or I thought it was a cell phone?
He took a cell phone and a golden card that
Oh,
allows
okay.
him to go into the chop shop.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Peter Stormare plays or Yosef Yosef Tarasov's uncle, and I love it.
Mm.
His entire chop shop is like hurriedly gathering a bunch of stuff, putting gold in oil drums and whatnot, and loading their stuff up. And the guy comes up, he's like, "Everything's almost finished. Almost." He's like, "Sir, is this really our best option? I mean, why are we getting the hell out of here? Because my fucking nephew stole a car and killed a dog." Peter Stormare, folks. Peter Stormare is such a freaking meme. He is such a freaking gift. He is he is a gift to mankind. He's played Lucifer. He's played Russian people all over. He's played in movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Friggin' he's played in a movie with Keanu Reeves, which was Constantine, where he played Lucifer. He played, he's played so many different characters. He's played in The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he had a very big pistol. And he played more like of a Texan kind of guy in that one. But in this, he's full on Russian, and he's like, a car which is currently in our inventory. So all of this because of a car, sir? That car belongs to John Wick. Oh. So the O is, or the guy saying "oh" is basically a callback to Yosef being like, "Well, John Wick wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He's the one you call to kill the fucking boogeyman." Oh, so it's like that chilling
Mm.
realization. John Wick is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. And when I say that has become a meme, folks, I mean that has become a meme
Mm.
where he is actually says, it's like, oh my god. So when somebody makes a joke about something, you have Peter Stormare. He's a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. I have that somewhere, I think. But yeah, it is just so freaking hilarious. And so John Wick goes in there and he's like, why don't we just give the car back? This man killed my brother and my son, or my nephew, like a fucking dog, all because of a puppy. And you think he's just going to stop now? It's like, and then he gets the call. You have my car. Baba Yaga. It's like, Baba Yaga. And that's when he just comes in and starts going after everybody. But I love how he kills one of them because the dude's smoking a cigar. He just claps the cigar in the dude's mouth. And it's like, it's got to hurt your hand a little bit at least. But no, it doesn't matter. He claps the dude's cigar in the dude's mouth. It just keeps his mouth shut while he takes care of him. Gives another dude basically a Glasgow smile with a freaking tether wire and whatnot. It's like, holy shit, man. He's just wrecking everybody's shit. And
I felt bad for that guy too, because the last taste he's ever gonna have is a cigarette or a cigar in his mouth,
burning his mouth up. Yeah. And so you get all these people going after him and whatnot, and all the while, you see cuts back to Peter Stormare, just looking like side to side, like listening to the carnage outside. And listening to the people screaming and whatnot. Yeah. And then suddenly you hear and John Wick just comes in, pours a drink, all the while Peter Stormare's like, he's just terrified. He's like,
am I going to die?
He's just waiting for it. He's waiting for it because he knows he can't stop it. And so John Wick just pours him some vodka, pours him another glass. Yeah, which means peace in Russian. And he's like, could a man like you ever really accept peace or live with peace? Why not? And so they actually have the peaceful drink. And I just love it. He just walks out. His car gets smashed to shit, by the way, during this whole sequence. This car that he loves so much. I mean, it's like, how the hell is that engine still running?
Right. Not to mention, like, that whole beautiful body and everything's just like, like a freaking tin can.
Yeah. And so he manages to get it back home, and he sits down for a little bit with his dog, or the dog that from the end of the first movie, which is nice. And so then Aurelio comes up, and so he's also stripping off his old gear. So when he's actually stripping off his old gear, that is very symbolic. He's like, I can finally rest now and put my old life to rest again. But Aurelio comes for the car at first. He's like, man, I thought you loved this car. He's like, can you repair? He's like, well, I don't. Your engine looks like it's about to fall out. Your housing's bent. Your framework is kind of shit. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a crack in your windshield. His windshield's fucking shattered, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
So
cracks everywhere.
He's like, yeah, I could do this. Well, let me know when it's right or ready. Yeah, it'll be ready by Christmas, 2030.
Next year, yeah,
2030. Yeah. So then he's finally putting his past back in the ground and burying it. The suit, the guns, all of it are finally going back where he dug it up from. And he just finishes tapering down the concrete when he gets a knock at the door, or his doorbell rings. And it is none other than Santino D'Antonio. we don't know this yet, but this guy is a very big name in the world of assassins.
Yep.
And it turns out that when John invites him in, you see an entourage outside led by Ruby Rose, who plays a character named Ares, like the god of war. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why name her Ares? Whatever. So he's like, would you like some coffee? Sure. And he's like, I was sorry to hear about your wife, John. Thank you. Cute dog. Does he have a name? No. But that when he answers the question, if you look at his face, he's dreading this meeting because he knows exactly why he is there.
Yep.
And he even tells, he's like, I don't want to be here. Please don't. And he reminds him of his or of the marker. He's like, you gave this to me in the time, or you came to me on the night of your impossible task, and I helped you. So for those of you who have only seen John Wick 2 through 4, I will break it down for you. The impossible task was what Viggo Tarasov gave to John Wick in order for John Wick to gain his freedom and his freedom of obligation under the High Table, which the High Table is mentioned for the first time in this movie. So we learn, or we get more world building and exposition in this film, which is great.
Yep.
And so John Wick just doesn't want to do it. He's like, I'm not that guy anymore. Please get somebody else, anybody else. He's like, you're right. You're no good to me. You can't do this. But he can. And you're wondering, well, who's he talking about? Who is he? Who's he going to go to make John comply? Well, he doesn't go to anybody. Instead, he leaves John to his devices. And, well, he grabs a grenade launcher and shoots up John's house and blows up the house. With John in it, blowing him out of the house. You're thinking that the dog's about to die again. And it's like, oh, this dude doesn't realize what happened the last time somebody killed his dog. Luckily, the dog survived still. Thank God. However, his house is burning up and pictures of his wife are burning before his very eyes.
Yeah.
And that look that he had after he was cleaning the blood or cleaning the dog's blood in his house in the first one has returned. He is the boogeyman once again. So he walks from New Jersey to fucking Manhattan to the Continental. I'm sorry. This dude walked, again, folks, from New Jersey to the Continental, which is the Flatiron Building in Manhattan. So it's like, how is your feet like not blistered from that?
Could
I mean,
possibly
dude,
taken a bus too. I mean, there are.
No, they show him walking from one of the bridges, they just show him start walking. And you also see Jimmy the cop. He's like, gas leak? Gas leak. He's like, you working again, John? Have a good night, Jimmy. And he's like, good night, John.
And then you hear
shit.
Jimmy under his breath.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shit. He's like, oh, shit. Because he knows that John's about to go killing again. But yeah, it shows John walking from the house, crossing one of the bridges into Manhattan, and walking into the Continental. So he walked all the way there, man. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you walked it off. Good man. Don't be killing anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
There's enough rage in John Wick that he could walk to the ends of the earth and his rage would not have abated one bit. Let's just say that, folks. So he goes to Winston. He's like, he's the manager, and he's like, he's expecting me, or he's upstairs. Man, not you, please. So yeah, Winston's looking at a new line of coins that they use, which is their currency of the realm, so to speak, to let everybody know who's in and who's not. And also, folks, fun thing about this marker that is mentioned a lot. I'm going to share a screen. Did you all know that John Wick universe is connected to Assassin's Creed?
No, I didn't. Except, earlier, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, if you look at the back of the blood marker here, the Quo Debitum Sanguine, which means that due to blood, by the way. I had that translated. But yeah, if you look at that on the right, which is the back of the marker, let's focus on it. That is the Assassin's Creed logo.
Yeah.
So yeah, John Wick's universe is tied to Assassin's Creed. Isn't that freaking nuts?
That it is.
So yeah. So I like when he goes to Winston, and Winston's like, where is he? What were you thinking, giving somebody like Santino D'Antonio a marker, John? I needed help. You could have gone to anyone else. I mean, what were you... And so he's like, what were you thinking? And then he goes over the rules. He's like, 2 rules that can never be broken. No blood on continental grounds, and every marker must be honored.
Yep.
You run, you die, you kill the one, or you kill the bearer of your marker, you die. You refuse, you die. Essentially. The high table, and he's like, and then wherein my decision would result in the form of excommunicado, the high table or their decision would be much more severe. It's like, yeah, except that there is a slight inconsistency here, folks. He had no problem killing Perkins in the first movie, or having Perkins killed in the first movie after she conducted business on continental grounds.
Right.
So, having Jonathan be excommunicado is a bit of an inconsistency because it shows favoritism.
I'm thinking the only reason why she was killed, though, is just because, like you said, she killed on the ground, so...
John does the same thing later at the end of this film.
Oh, yeah, true. You got a point.
I have not seen the 3 episodes of The Continental yet.
Same. I want to watch those, though.
What streaming service is it?
Peacock.
Oh, well, I don't have Peacock, so... Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway. So, yeah. We then learn that he's like, or rules. Without them, we live with the animals. So then Wick goes to the art museum, and Ruby Rose gets quite handsy with him. Gives his ass a nice little squeeze there for the ladies. I mean, she can honestly brag that she has copped a feel on Keanu Reeves. Good on you, Ruby Rose. Who's a lesbian, by the way, folks. Yeah. Not that it matters. But, so he goes to talk with Santino, and Santino's mocking John. And he also tells him, he's like, if you had stayed retired, I would have respected that. However, you came back in. You came back.
It's like Winston said, if you dip so much as a pinky in there.
Yep, you'll find something reaches out and pulls you back in.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's Santino D'Antonio. He's the one that pulled John back in. And he tells him, I want you to kill my sister. You want me to kill Gianna D'Antonio? Yes, it can't be done. She'll be in Rome. You could take the catacombs. It doesn't matter where she is. It can't be done.
What I find funny is he says to her, I can't kill her myself because I love her.
And she's my blood, but it's like, but I can have her killed.
Ryan, what?
What? Because he wants her position at the seat of the high table. Because she is now a member, or she is now basically taking a seat at the high table because their father died and willed the seat to her. So it's like, but he's like, poor little Santino. Overlooked, passed over, and all that other stuff. So he's like, it can't be done. But I also like how Wick is looking, or he's just paying attention. He's like, how would you do it, Matt? Or I wonder, or a knife, his cane, her glasses, my hands. It's like, wow, dude. I mean, if only now, folks, this would have had a better payoff if he had just went up to Winston in the Continental and choked him out to death, basically. Because nobody would have stepped in. Nobody would have stepped in. They would have allowed him to kill, and then he would have been excommunicado. But, well, we all know that a bullet is more permanent, you know?
Yes.
So he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Basically, he has no choice but to do it. And he's walking away before Santino can finish talking. And he's like, not one to waste words. So he goes to this Jewish holdings place, like a Jewish safety deposit box gig.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets one of his old suits, a gun, and a stack of coins. And then he screams it out, or he screams out because he's pissed off that he got pulled back in. And then the guy's like, happy hunting, Mr. Wick. And he says it in Hebrew. So John, not wanting to be an asshole, he stops, turns, small nod, and then leaves. These guys don't know what the hell's going on. They don't know that John doesn't want to be there and whatnot. He just has no choice, you know? And I do like it how John actually has this backup, because he had his suit that, well, got covered by a bunch of rubble. And he also has backup areas. I'm willing to bet that's not the only backup area either.
Probably not.
So we then arrive at the Rome Continental, and we see that John is indeed being watched by, what's-her-name, Ares. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And Julius, the manager, asks if John is there for the Pope. Are you here for the Pope? No. Then here's a card to one of our finest rooms. And I'm thinking to myself, what would have happened if he had said yes?
I know, right?
It's like, if he would have said yes, then you are not allowed to be here. Get out.
No. I mean, would he reluctantly give it up, or would he?
It's like, dude, I got a marker that I have to enforce. I'm not happy about it. And we will not help you if you're here to kill the Pope. Get out.
I know, right?
But it's so great. So he goes to this guy that gets him into, or gives him information to the catacombs underneath the D'Antonio estate, and he gets a new suit as well as new guns, and he asks about the sommelier. Now, folks, the sommelier is played by a British actor who is mostly comedy and stuff. This guy here, I can't pronounce his name to save my life, but yeah, this dude here is the sommelier, goes through the guns and whatnot. And funny thing, this guy was in the MCU in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie as Denarian Saul. And he was also in one of the Star Wars movies under George Lucas as none other than a voice character for 9 or 00M-9, which is the battle droid commander of the battle droid army, as well as the voice of Darth Maul. Yeah, Sam Witwer was not the voice of Darth Maul as much as a lot of people thought in episode 1. No, it was this guy who likes talking about guns in a way of wine tastings with the coded language that they have. Need something robust, precise. Robust, precise. Well, how about the AR-15? Love the AR-15, folks. So versatile. I love it. And then he's like, I need something big, bold. Big, bold. How about the Benelli M4, the shotgun? And he talks about how it's been customized and whatnot. Dessert. Dessert. And he gets the finest knives for killing people. And it's like, oh, I love it. I love it. This is one of my favorite non-violent bits of the movie because this guy just completely sells it, you know? And all the guns are customized for maximum precision. And he's getting a suit which is bulletproof to the point of insanity. The suits are bulletproof with silicon carbide discs, ceramic matrices, and accompanying laminates, which is sewn in between the fabrics of the suit. And he's like, no penetration, however, quite painful. So it's like, yeah, I bet, you know? But yeah.
And then we also got the guy explaining the catacombs to him, like on where everything's at.
And then John goes hunting, using the keys to the catacombs, and he places the Benit or the M4 and the AR-15 in different places, so that just in case he needs to get out, he has extra weapons. So we then see the Gianna D'Antonio's coronation, where I literally had to put in earplugs when I saw this movie the first time because it's like, geez, I could never walk through there. I would be so uncomfortable, folks. When it comes to blaring music, I don't go to concerts. I don't go to anything like that because I would be overstimulated audio, or I would have over audio stimulation, which becomes very physically uncomfortable for me. My skin, or you know how you have those certain situations where your skin feels like it's crawling? The term skin crawl. Well, for me, it's almost like a wave of that feeling when somebody's blaring music. And the vibrations set me on edge, as well as make me very uncomfortable. So, yeah, I didn't have fun at my class reunion because, well, I had to get used to that stuff. But believe me, when the DJ started playing songs, I wasn't happy. It's like, just get me the hell out of that place, you know? But I stayed to mingle and to see people that I haven't seen in fucking 20 years.
Right.
And who honestly didn't get gave a shit about some of them because some of them were nice. The rest were, it's like, wanted to slug a couple of them. But anyway, I digress. Getting back to it. So yeah, we see that Common is the bodyguard to Gianna D'Antonio, and we see that this woman is indeed a real ruthless bitch. She killed kids to force a group to be loyal to her and her organization under or at the high table. And it's like,
okay,
you had a
maybe
knife
she
to
is
their
the
throats.
right person for the job.
Yeah, it's like, you had a knife to their throats. This blade you speak of was meant for their kids. They just got in the way. And I'm like, this bitch is evil. She deserves to die. But then John winds up in a room, and it's like, she's like, so what brings you here? Death's very emissary. A marker held by your brother. And it's like, oh, shit. So she gets naked. Not a bad body on her.
Nope.
Claudia Guarini. And, yeah, she
slits her
wrists, sinks into her nice hot tub, and bleeds out. John actually allows her to bleed out.
I thought it was like a real touching scene because he was staying with her as she was dying too.
He holds her hand too. Yeah. And also he tells her, or she tells him before he dies, let me tell you something, or what will happen when I die. My brother will take my seat, and he will go after New York. He wants New York. Me, I don't want New York. But, hey, you're going to give it to him. You got to honor the marker. Be my guest. Slit, bleed, dead. And John has to show that he honored it. So he had to put a
couple bullets in her head, yeah.
Just one. And then he just walks away as if he doesn't care, even though he does.
Right.
She was a friend. But it really is a good scene. So when he's walking out and Cassius, Common, sees this, he's like, hey, John, you working? Yeah. Good night? Afraid so. Well, yeah. That kind of tipped it. So they shoot each other, and they lift up their coats to take the shots for the most part, but they still get shot, knocked down. And so we get the fight, we get John running, killing people, making sure pop in the head, or in the two in the chest to slow them down, one in the head to drop them. Because now John Wick went from a great movie in the first movie to a movie that now has perfect body or cutting edge body armor that headshots are the only way to go. So they only got worse from there, folks, when it came to the body armor shit. Because believe me, the third one, they basically have fucking bomb squad level thickness and armor that stops armor penetrating bullets.
Mind you, this is all in like a nice business wear suit, you know?
I mean, well, those suits we'll get into the third one when we get to the third one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, the way how she talks to John while she frames the kill and the consequences of how greedy her brother is, well, yeah. It really does, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know what it's like to be audio overstimulated, huh? Yes, it's never fun. And yes, he totally sells it with how he describes the weapons. Yeah. And the world building is indeed great. So, they then get to the catacombs, and this shows you how, or before we do get to the catacombs, you shoot somebody in Rome, apparently in that crowd, they all just cheered. And it's like, they're all like, or he pops somebody on the freaking stage, and everybody's like, yeah! It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. They're like, I honestly think they thought it was like part of the show or something, because they got to be like either drugged out or on something to make them.
Man. Rome, whatever fucking drugs you're selling, leave that shit over there, because we don't need any more of that shit over here, man. We don't need any more drugs over here. We're trying to get rid of that shit. But yeah. So we get to the catacombs, and there's Ares. Loose ends. Just one.
Right. It's like, of course.
So John starts shooting, and then a bunch of Ares goons come in. And get this. When John gets out of screen, she shoots through her own men.
Yeah.
She killed her own men trying to kill John. And I'm like, damn, this bitch is volatile. And so we see that John leads them throughout the catacombs to the M4, and then not to the M4, but to the AR-15, and then the M4. And we see how tactical he is with it. You see how his last round he holds near the the insert. And so when he pulls back, slips it in, and cocks forward, he can immediately pull the trigger. So yeah, that was nice fight. So then he gets out, thinking he's finally safe. Nope. Cassius. Yep. Common runs his ass over. Not having a good night, are you, John? And they fight themselves down a bunch of stairs, onto a terrace, and through a door. Gentlemen, may I remind you that no business is to be conducted on continental grounds.
Right.
And it's like, oh.
Now if you want drinks to tone this down,
Yeah, it's like, may I suggest a visit to the bar? Gin, wasn't it? Right. Or, yeah. Bourbon. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're talking it out. And hold on one second, folks. Fade, keep him busy with the movie.
Okay. So basically, they're still around talking. They're talking about how John had to honor his kill since, with the medallion and everything has to honor the kill. And, they're discussing it, and he's saying, she was my handler, or something like that, if I remember right. So he worked exclusively underneath her, I believe. So she was his boss and all that. Had to handle that. After they get a drink, he says, "This one's on me. It's a professional courtesy." So after that, we see Common going out, and then we see John seeing Ares. And they're both she's sign language to him. What was it?
She tells him, or this is still at the bar?
Yeah.
She tells him, having a rough night. And she's like, not him, me. Be seeing you soon. And then John Wick signs to her back, not if I see you first.
And then I believe after that we cut to the scene where Winston and Santiago are both talking about John honored.
Was
it after that, or
it was before, or it was after it? But there's another scene in between where Santino's like, "Hello, John. It's nothing personal. I just wanted you to know.
Mm-hmm.
But how would it look if I didn't avenge my sister?"
Right.
So then we see the accounts payable contract is open, 7 million,
Million.
and it's a contract opening for John Wick. And it's like, oh, so he's going to give him $7 million. Okay,
I
that's
thought that
nice.
was like the scene like after he signed the treaty saying, he honored the code and all
No,
that, and okay.
it was after, because he told him, it's like, if Wick isn't dead already, he soon will be.
Mm.
But yeah, because I mean, at first I was sort of naive, but then it's like, oh wait, everything here has a double meaning. So he is putting a hit out on John Wick. And you
Right.
see this sumo dude getting the contract. You see this violinist, these two brother guys, and these two cleaner guys. You see that the call is going wide, folks.
Yeah.
And I really love how they do that, because it shows that John Wick is going to come across each and every one of these guys. And so we get out. Let's see here. So Santino then has to finish or honor the marker and put his blood on in the marker, as well as the page of the record. And this whole, he's like, you stabbed the devil in the back. And what did you expect?
Right.
You incinerated the priest's temple, burned it to the ground. He was already back. Oh, he came back for love, not for you.
Right.
I had every right. Yeah, you did. But he did warn you. He did warn you. I mean, you burnt, or it's like, you have no idea what's going to happen now. You have no idea what you've done. So then we get the John coming back into New York. And I do like how Julius gave him safe passage to the airport and whatnot. That was nice of them. So John is going for Santino. However, the female assassin starts shooting at him, and they do all of this out of sequence because he gets shot in the ribs. And so when he has to fight the other guys and the sumo, well, he's already been shot, so he is kind of hurt. And then it shows how he killed all of them, and I love how he gets a pencil kill. Yep. We see just how lethal he really is. And okay, so yeah, John, or he snaps Violin Girl's neck, shoots the sumo dude like a bunch, just to get him to drop, and he shoots him like 3 times in the head just to get him dead, or twice, 2 or 3 times, I don't know.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you would not expect that.
Yeah. And I like how he has a problem, or he does have trouble with it all. That John Wick is not invincible. And so the pencil kills, man. The pencil kills.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's like he can kill people with pencils.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lie. I saw him kill 3 men, or he once killed 3 men in a bar with a pencil. Yeah, I heard the story. With a fucking pencil. Who the fuck can do that? I love from the beginning of the movie. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, now we see him do it, and it's like,
we see now it was not smoke blowing up our asses. It was an actual thing.
Yep. And so then he gets on a train, or not yet, before the train, he comes across Common at a fountain, starts shooting everything. And how the hell they didn't kill somebody like a couple of people dropping dead, at least at random, would have sold that a little bit better, but it didn't happen. So then they have this conversation with silencers.
Yeah, in the train station. No one was the wiser.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, it's a conversation. It's like, you killed my ward. I had no choice. I don't fucking care. You're dead anyway. Not if I kill you first. Shut up, asshole. Eat shit, twit. I mean, basically, you can understand that there is a conversation with these silencers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, folks, just to let you know, silencers are not silent. They do muffle it a little bit. However, suppressors are
they don't go that silent.
Yeah, I've seen a suppressor used. They don't go pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, no.
They go boom. Or where a normal gun would go boom, these things would go boom, boom, boom. I mean, you hear a slight muffle, sure, but they are nowhere near the whole kind of thing, you know? So, but hey, these are the John Wick's or suppressors, so yeah, they work. They go pew, pew.
Just get the pew, pew,
so we then get on the knife, we then get on the train, and they're slowly moving toward each other, and then people are starting to look, and people are getting off, and some other people are getting off. Then they start fighting. Now, I like when that he stops it. Comet actually uses his knee to shove the blade in further, and it's like, nice move there, dude. That's showing the fight choreography is great in these movies, folks.
Yes.
So when John actually gets the blade into him, he's like, the blade is in your aorta. You pull it out, you will bleed and you will die.
Keep it in and you might live.
Yep. And he's like, consider this a professional courtesy.
Which a nod to the whole bar scene where he was covering the drinks.
Where he says, I'll make it quick, and then he's like, consider it a professional courtesy.
Yep.
I mean, yes, the fights are definitely great because they have such great choreography. I mean, this group that is doing these movies are doing them, or they're a bunch of stuntmen doing these movies. Chad Stahelski is Keanu Reeves' stuntman from The Matrix. So, yeah, he started a stuntman studio, essentially, to make movies. And this movie, or these movies, plus movies like The Accountant and a few others, have been done by these guys in their studio, which is nice.
Cool.
I mean, and the guy from the first John Wick movie with the twisty mustache and a long beard and bald head, he's been in a couple other movies where that require stunt work and whatnot, as well as The Accountant. So you know that this guy is one of them, you know? He's a stunt guy. And it's nice. So we then see him get off the train and see that a couple of guys are chasing after him. So he goes up to this homeless guy and drops a coin. And the guy he's like, yeah, I need to see him. Tell him it's John Wick. And then he just keels over.
And then the
is hiding, and so the guy pulls the tarp down a little bit. Hey, man. He's like, it's everywhere, man. You can taste it. Hey, dude, you got a quarter? And, you know, he doesn't say, do you have a quarter, and then draws. No, he's saying, do you have a quarter? He's saying it while he's shooting. That tells you that this dude is very effective at doing more than one thing at a time.
Not to mention, you know, after that, you got a whole couple more people coming in, cleaning up the scene and everything.
And so then he gets a trip to the Bowery, and he gets some grade A Bowery morphine to help him heal and shit from his knife wound and his shot in the gut. So then we get reintroduced to Morpheus from The Matrix. Morpheus is back, folks. Holy shit, isn't it awesome? Oh, wait, wrong movies. It's the Bowery King, Lawrence Fishburne. Great. Gosh, it's so great. And Lawrence Fishburne is like, he is just over top in this, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, or before my rise, I used to be just a pawn in the game. And John gave me this. You see a scar like right here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and he gave me a choice. I could pull my gun, take my hand off my neck and die, or keep my hand on the wound and live. I've never let anybody sneak up on me since, thanks to you. And nobody will ever sneak up on me again now that I'm the king of the Bowery. And so John is bold as brass. He's like, you're going to help me. I need to find Santino. You need to move me underground so I can find him and kill him. Oh, right. Well, yeah, sure. Well, okay, John. Anything you need, John. Would you like a back rub, John? Why the fuck would I help you? Because if you don't, or because I'm the only one who can help you. Right. And John, why do you think, or because Santino's going for New York, you think he's just going to stop at 14th Street? So are you going to help me, or are you going to do nothing, or are you going to just are you going to give me a gun? Would somebody please
go
give
get
this man
a gun?
Yep. Lawrence Fishburne, folks, fucking awesome. And so he gives him a Kimber 1911 45 ACP with a 7-round capacity. And he's like, 7 rounds. $7 million gets you 7 rounds. That's $1 million a round, baby. Because he's like, what's the bounty up at now, or up right now, Bob?
$7 million.
I don't know why this thing accidentally clicked Live Studio, but thank God it pulls up a thing that says, are you sure you want to leave? It's like, I never wanted to leave in the first place. Holy crap. Do you want a war, or do you just want to, do you want a war, or do you just want to give me a gun? I love that. So do you want a war, or do you just want to give me a gun? It really is good. And so he's like, so he's like, this guy will take you all the way in to the bowels of hell. And remember, John, you owe me. You don't want me owing you. You don't want me owing you. I really love that. So then we get to the museum and the museum shootout. And it has one of the iconic bits where he slides the mag, pops it back in, and going off. And I love this because he has to use other people's guns. It's not an infinite round shootout like in so many other freaking movies, you know? These movies were done where it shows you that, yes, if you got a 7-round capacity magazine, after 7 shots, you're fucking empty.
Right.
Which I counted in this shot. When he shoots, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's out. Okay, good. They got it right. Good. And he keeps the Kimber because when he's doing his gun foo, he slides the Kimber in his back or in his back of his trousers so that he can grab the guy's gun and then start using it. So he has the Kimber. And then he grabs a mag that works with the Kimber, and he does that flick where he flicks it out, or flicks out the old mag and pops in a new one, pulls back, or I like how he slides his hand like this, which is something that a lot of people do. So he slides it to check the rack to see if there's any jamming, and that's actually something that shooters will do.
Oh, really?
Actually make sure to check it.
That's interesting.
So we then get through some great other kills and whatnot, and into the Hall of Reflection and the Soul and Hall of Mirrors, basically. And he kicks some ass there too. And Santino is doing some word taunting and
saying,
shit.
"How dare you kill my sister," and all of that.
Yeah.
Then
He's like, I needed the man, John, or I needed the killer, John Wick. You wanted me back. I'm back. It's a great shot, or it's a great scene. And then, well, Ares comes in, gets her boss out, and then she's like, "You go, I'll stay and I'll finish this." So then she pulls out a push knife, which is those ones that you can hold or that have the
oh yeah, the
crescent moon
little
handles.
handlebar right here where you hold it like this.
Yep, you can hold it like this and punch somebody with it. And so she tries fighting Vic, and I love how this fight does not go her way at all. He's literally holding her like, at arm's length, and she's literally just trying to go like, "Oh, get you, I can't touch you, but I'll get you." I mean, there literally is a freaking, he's doing that, and it's like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. And so then he's like, okay, throw her up against the wall, kick her in the hoo-ha, doesn't hurt her, so because she's like, oh. So he gets the knife out of her hand, puts it through her hand, and then into her chest, so her hand is like stuck like this to her chest. And folks, I don't know if you noticed, but this is actually quite uncomfortable to be able, or to be stuck like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of hurts. It's not pleasant at all. So, yeah, and then she's like, he's saying you. Sure.
And then just dies.
Sure. Yeah, and so then she finally dies. So, Santino's at the Continental. He's like, I need to speak with the manager. He's in the lounge, so. Yeah. Sharon's, I love Sharon. Sharon, folks. Lance Reddick, you are missed. You are missed, dude. Sharon then sees John Wick with his gun out in the Continental. That's your first indication that John Wick is not here to follow the rules anymore.
Right.
And Sharon's looking at him. He's like, I'm here to see Santino D'Antonio. And the look that Sharon gives, he's like, he is waiting for you in the lounge.
Right.
So he understands that his friend John Wick is about to essentially kill himself as well. So yeah, he comes down, but before he does, Santino goes to Winston. He's like, I want his membership revoked now. In the eyes of this administration, John Wick has breached no legalities.
Right.
Well, then you know that I have a right to demand nothing. You demand nothing of me, Mr. D'Antonio. This castle is mine, and all that comes with it.
Right.
Right. Well, enjoy your kingdom, Winston, while it lasts, and you, its privileges. So, yeah, so Santino's having some food. Duck fat makes all the difference. And I'm thinking to myself, you're worried about duck fat? This dude's about to kill you. And Winston, giving him credit, he's trying to talk John down.
It's like, not here, John. Don't do it.
He's not going to talk. He's like, John, just walk away. Yeah, John, walk up. He's like, what have you done? Finished it. Puts the freaking. No, that was me on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Just puts the bolt or the Kimber down on the table because he realized, yeah, I get it. So then he picks up his dog from Sharon. And yes, rip Lance Reddick. And so he gets, and he's like, how was he? He was a good dog, sir. And so he tells him, let's go home. And John is there, and he grabs his wife's picture, or a picture of his wife, as well as the bracelet that she had.
Mm.
And he's holding on to them while it's raining all outside of the house that has been burnt down. But he's found an area that he could sit that's still dry and whatnot. And you can actually, if you pay close attention, you can hear the footsteps coming up, where he's just waiting because he knows what's going to happen. He's like, and so when Sharon shows up, Mr. Wick, if you would be so inclined as to come with me. Well, he is there personally because John Wick breached the absolute taboo, which is no blood on continental grounds. So when he's sent to the park to meet with Winston, remember, folks, Perkins had 4 shooters there for her.
Mm-hmm.
John Wick has a whole fucking park full of people that are to shoot him if the order comes down. Because he's like, you killed a man on company grounds, Jonathan. You have, or no choice but for me to declare you excommunicado.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, but your life is now forfeit. So why am I not dead? Because I deemed it not to be. And then he turns and nods to a guy and he talks to his cell phone. Now, everybody in the freaking park stops and turns to Wick. And I'm thinking to myself, he'd kill about 12 to 11 of them, or 11 to 12 of them, but he's not that good. And then he looks at Winston, and Winston's like, mm-hmm. And so he's like, yeah, you can all go now. You have 1 hour. I can't delay it any longer. So,
and then,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I gotta say that whole scene setup was like really nicely done too.
It really was.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hands him a marker. Now, this is an inconsistency in the second or in the third one because he has the marker on him, but he finds it later in a book that he's looking for later on. But this marker, a lot of people are like, well, who's the marker to in John Wick 2? It's a mistake. Yeah, because they didn't know if they were continuing on. And for the third one, the movie had to do good in the box office, and it did. But yeah, I like that. And we get the very famous line, Winston, tell them all, whoever it is, or whoever they send, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I will kill them all. Of course you will. And or also the Camorra, which is Santino's faction at the high table, doubled the bounty on Wick, and he gives him a 1 hour head start. And I like how so when he goes to leave, Winston calls in the excommunicado order, and it goes wide, and John Wick is seeing that everybody is receiving the call, so he has to now start running because he only has an hour.
And so, you see, like, him getting more terrified or whatever as he's seeing more people looking up on their phones and all that.
And you also see that Julius Aurelio and others are seeing the news, and it's like, oh shit. You know? So yeah, that is the end of John Wick because he's now running towards New York City with his dog. And it really is such a great... What did you think? What were your favorite parts within this movie?
Well, the one where Santiago's like in one of the scenes where he's saying you must honor what he did. He completed the contract. You must put in this notebook or stamp the notebook. He completed that, and that gives John Wick the A-OK to kill him now without a whole lot of repercussions until he killed in the Continental.
Yeah, because that actually ensures that he has, or that John Wick has a right to kill him now, because
Yeah, because
the marker's been honored,
yep.
and that's why Winston is actually forcing him to mark it down.
Mm,
He's like, John Wick honored his marker. He's not going to be held accountable for killing you.
right.
And so, if he had killed him off of Continental grounds, it would have worked. However,
Mm,
he did kill him on Continental grounds.
yeah.
Any other thoughts and shit?
Um. Well, the fine choreography, like you said, was amazing on here,
Mm-hmm.
and especially, like I said, my favorite part in that entire thing was actually the silencers, what they were using, just walking by all these people, and no one has like they don't even go, oh, what was that? Is that a mosquito or something?
Yeah,
Just hear
right.
pew 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 pew.
Yeah. I mean, I like that scene as well. It's actually another great scene.
Mm.
But yeah, those are decent scenes. So, out of 10, how would you do this one?
Mm, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 for me.
All right. Why?
Just because, like you said, there are some nuances, especially with the coin being brought in towards the end, and then, like, towards the sequel, it's not even brought up. And
Yeah.
then, as well as, there was this one scene, what was it? It was, like, common for
Yeah.
one. We don't. Well, we probably will find it later on, maybe, or something. We don't know what happens to Common when he gets that knife in his chest. Like, does he die or does he live? Or, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have it set up to where he can appear in a sequel if they wanted him
Possibly.
to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they do kind of leave that open.
Mm,
Me, I do the 3 tiers: objective, subjective, moviegoer. Objectively, I would put this movie about an 8. There are some inconsistencies, there are some irregularities, and there are some problems here and there.
mm,
However, they're easily overlooked when it comes to a subjective standard, which I actually say this movie's a 9.5 out of 10. I really do
mm,
enjoy it. Uh, Moviegoer, this movie is a 10 out of 10. It keeps you in your seat, keeps you. It's great from start to finish.
yep.
I just really think that this movie is a great second chapter, and I
Mm,
really do enjoy Keanu Reeves' performances as Wick, and bringing back or bringing Lawrence Fishburne into it. The world building, all of that is
mm,
really well done.
yeah. It was.
Anyway, so before we go, let everybody know where they can find you, Fade.
You guys can find me over at Fade Salvation. I usually do figure news videos and do some other streams with other people and all that. And yeah.
Alrighty. As for me, folks, you can find me here on my channel or this Tuesday. I'm doing Predator 87 for
Nice
the
movie.
Tuesday theme streams of Military versus Aliens. And not this week, but next week, me and Mara are doing the 1s and 2s for Halloween 1 and 2, the originals, as well as the singles on Thursday, which will start with Bram Stoker's Dracula and then Silver Bullet in the week after.
Nice.
So, yep, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm also going to be covering, trying to do some more shorts for you all. I did some Michael Myers mask shorts, so be sure to check those out. I will be covering Rachel Zegler news and Alec Baldwin news as it develops. So far, there's been short developments here and there that I've given you guys or that I've reported on my channel. And yeah, other than that, you can also catch me on the Barroom podcast at 9 p.m. on Society Reviews channel on Tuesday nights. And 1:30 p.m. on my channel is the Tuesday theme streams. So, yeah, thank you so much, folks. Fade, thanks for coming
No
on.
problem.
Next week, we have, let me share the screen.
Oh, yes, our little tidbit treat on that.
The teaser for John Wick 3. This is the thumbnail for next week. I will serve. I will be of service. And they got some good cast in that one too, folks. I mean, you had great cast in this one, but this or the next one brings in some good and great additions. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat and Fade Salvation. And also, we will be having Geek Detective Pierce coming on for the third one as well. And hopefully the other hat crew for this one as well. So, yeah, definitely tune in for that one next week or next Sunday night at 8 p.m. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful night. And always remember, folks, to stay humble.